particular chapter focuses on Black women and their bodies, and how typically in the media we only focus on white women and their body image problems, and we just kind of dismiss Black women having beauty problems or like just body image or self-image problems. We just like think they're fine and they don't stress about that. In her book, she also talks about, she quotes, "To our credit, Black women have often been praised for our positive relationships with our body." White women and Black women were asked what the ideal woman seems like to them. White women talked about body image, while Black women talked more about independence and self-confidence, and so that kind of also made people think that Black women don't care about their bodies.
When she starts talking about her childhood, she begins talking about how her family was a middle-class Black family, and they made intellect as well as being successful very important, while never really discussing body image. But one thing that Serena knew for sure was that her family did not appreciate the extra meat that she had on her bones. They would, make small little comments about it and stuff like that. And when she was about 8 or 9, she began doing Jane Fonda exercise videos in the comfort of her home. And although she tried to get out of gym class in middle school, when she got to high school, she ended up having to take a gym class, but ended up doing an aerobics class to get out of the traditional gym class. And that ended up leading her into really exercising and focusing more on her body image. And this soon resulted in her practicing bulimia as well as over-exercising.
Riley also talks about that her junior year of college, she finally realized that she had a problem when it came to eating and weight and how obsessive she was over it. So when she went to therapy, she realized that she had had eating disorders her entire life, and that myth that Black women weren't affected by body image and eating disorders was actually untrue. And as she realized going through her women's studies degree, she realized that Black women were often marginalized when it came to that topic, and white women were often centered.
When it comes to the history of how Black women perceive themselves in media as well as the Black community itself, there tends to be a shift towards, Black women being bustier or having more weight, and that kind of resides with the stereotype and character of mammy, just assuming that Black women are either, skinny and scandalous and lustful, or they're overweight, and usually that coincides with an idea of them being related to poverty.
I think that idea brings the fact that women don't question or the way they're being talked about or the way they look at themselves. People don't think Black women question it because they've seen in the media, this is how Black women look, it's not a problem for them. They don't deal with the struggle of self-body image.
Yeah, and also to add on to the mammy point, the idea that Black women are often overweight comes with a desexualization that origins from the antebellum time, and how white people would try to view heavier Black women. They were trying to make them less threatening, so they desexualized them in order to just cast them to the side and make it seem like they're not as much as a threat to society.
Also, interesting thing I kind of found about this chapter is when she finally realized that something was wrong with her, and that she had an eating disorder, so bulimia, and she went to these therapy sessions. She was the only Black woman in these large groups, and it touches on the fact that we don't prioritize the fact that Black women do have these issues and do need therapy and do need help. We just think, they're fine, there's nothing wrong, and that's a big problem.
And then one thing that intrigued me about this chapter was how her family reacted to her losing weight as well as her peers. Yes, they did encourage her, and was like, oh, you look so good, you lost so much weight, but all the compliments were always kind of double-sided, backhanded, and so I think it really reads into how Black communities relate and react to, somebody losing weight and going through body image issues.
Riley mentioned how Black media that's created by us or is centered around us also can affect Black women's body image, and how even though it may be a Black woman that's featured in that certain type of media, it's still a certain type of Black woman, and how that can affect how they view themselves and how they view their bodies.
So for more information about this topic, we each found a source so that you can learn more.
Get different perspectives on
Yes.
it. So on YouTube, I was able to find a video from the Black public media called "Black Folk Don't Have Eating Disorders."
I found a journal article about beauty and body image concerns among African American college women, and it's written by Hermione H. Award, Charlotte Norwood, and Colette Chapman Hillard.
And for my source, I found a YouTube video made by For Harriet, and it's called "Let's Talk About Black Women and Body Image," and it really centers Black women and how they feel about their bodies and the misconceptions that people may have about it.
Thank you so much for joining us.